This episode of the Nerd Corporation podcast may contain spoilers and explicit language. Listener discretion is advised.
Hi, this is Manu Bennett, Deathstroke the Terminator, and you're listening to Nerd Corp Podcast.
Welcome to Retromania!
Welcome to the Nerd Corporation.
What up, everybody? It's Thursday, and you know what that means.
Oh, it's that time.
Yeah.
Is that time again?
You know, we like to bring the energy down at the beginning.
You know what?
Kill the expectations.
I don't need your fucking shit, okay?
Your goddamn negativity.
I don't need all of
You sit in your fucking tower and always naysaying everything I fucking create. You piece of shit.
At this point, it's basically like this. So I'm trying to find this game to bring it up. It's basically like trying to find a needle in a haystack.
Jesus
like I have no
Christ.
fucking idea. All I know is that it is a 3D fighter on the 64, and it's Japanese. Which, you know.
Well, why don't what terms are you
Now
using to
listen,
search?
you know, one of 26,000 possible results. It's like, fuck, man.
Well, it's podcast day. Welcome to episode 56, Retromania VI. 64 bits at a time. We're going to be talking about the Nintendo 64, all the nostalgia that comes with it, and all the fun times that we had.
I came ready to party
And I just came.
and to bring back all sorts of memories, whether they be repressed or not.
You just came.
Yep, I just came. That's it.
It was a pretty good intro, wasn't
Yeah, I know, right? It was great.
It's
and
it's podcast day.
and then Cole's energy just really got me going.
it? Yeah, it was nice and smooth and slow. And
These motherfuckers, man. Why do I do this shit?
let's get on with the nerd news. So, Robert Pattinson has bowed out
That was fast.
of the Batman, which
Batman.
I was already like, and it was crazy because it was like some fucked up Stockholm syndrome. I was just accepting it already, and I was already starting to like the idea.
See, I can't say that I liked the idea, but like, I personally don't know. I don't think he would necessarily do poorly at it. I mean, how hard is it to talk with a mask on? Like, that's all Batman fucking does.
Yeah, just talk with the mask on
Like,
and
that's-
have a sore throat. Like,
Yeah,
it was-
that's not tough. Like,
yeah,
if anybody
Christian
can do
Bale
that.
fucked it up.
yeah.
Well,
it's true.
true.
Yeah, he did.
He went a little
Hot
ham.
coal.
He went a little ham on the voice
I
there.
thought he was great.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I was gonna be fine with it. I was gonna see it and see how it went. But now I don't even have to.
Right.
Did you see that article that said that he was either going to be approached or he was approached, but Macaulay Culkin as the Joker?
Oh yeah, I
Like
did see
that would have like got me like solidly.
Well, I mean,
sold
we
on
don't know. Do we know that that's not a real thing?
Well, I
No,
mean,
we don't.
like if he was still a thing,
yeah.
and I was on the fence about it,
That would have brought me.
Oh,
that would
I
have
see.
pushed me over the fence.
Yeah.
Do you remember though that this is totally off topic, but that episode of Crank Yankers where the guy calls the one store and he's dressed as Batman and he just goes Batman, and then what can I help you?
Batman.
Bruce Wayne. Sir, what are you? Bat Cave. Just like, that's all it was.
That's awesome.
You know who also isn't going to be what people wanted him to be? Josh Gad won't be the Penguin. He's confirmed it on Twitter. Which leads me to believe that he knows who is.
I mean, I don't know.
Because he's been stringing people along this whole time, and now once production is starting, he's just like, well,
Yeah.
Let me just pump the brakes on teasing you about
I
being
mean,
Penguin.
I guess it's possible.
You know, so I don't know, but too bad for Pattinson.
Too bad, so sad.
Y'all really ain't shedding any tears over this, are you?
No, not really. I mean, I'm fine with it not being him. I probably would have been fine with it being him, but either way.
Like if he actually left because of the backlash on the internet, then I'll feel bad.
Yeah.
But it says he departed for
I gotta imagine
scheduling reasons.
That's like part of it, though.
I mean, he got so much hate after, and in my opinion, deservedly so, for this whole Twilight thing. Like,
let this be
I
your
think
daily
he just-
reminder that we kind of need to be a little nicer to each other on the internet, please.
yeah.
Be
Just
kind.
because you don't fucking agree with a casting. Like,
Rewind.
So many people won't get that reference.
No, that's an old-fashioned reference.
It is. It's an old-fashioned reference.
My piece of nerd news is the director of Thor Ragnarok. I'm gonna butcher the fuck out of this name. Taika Waititi is reportedly developing a Flash Gordon animated film.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, right. That because I don't know about you guys, but that was definitely before my time, and I never saw any Flash Gordon. Like, the only semblance of Flash Gordon I have is from fucking Ted 2.
Yeah. Same.
But yeah, if they like redo like an animated series of it, I'm totally on board with watching it.
So am I.
I just love that.
Plus,
Flash!
it's gotta be that great because he's behind the wheel of it, and
Yeah.
not only did Thor Ragnarok kick ass, but he was actually in the movie, and he kicked ass in the movie too.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So that's exciting.
What was it? There was an interview with Tom Holland, and he was talking about how he was so down to have like a Spider-Verse crossover with Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield.
So for my nerd news, we are supposedly confirmed we are getting another Tucker and Dale versus Evil movie.
Nice.
Which, yes, and it's really funny too because Tyler Labine, who is fucking amazing and great in everything I've ever seen him in, especially Reaper. He is quoted as basically saying, "Yeah, this movie's fan service. No one's gonna make money off of this, and we're fine with that.
Hell yeah,
we're just gonna make it because everybody wants it, and that's great." And I was like, "No way, dude, that's badass."
Just for that, they're going to make shit tons of money.
I know, huh?
There was this movie that he was in. My friend Adam turned me on to it because he said that it reminded him of our friend Tom, which, now Tom's happily married with twins, but before that,
Sucker.
he's like, you gotta watch this because this is like the life of Tom, and I can't remember what it was called, but Tyler Labine was a main character. He was like a single guy, like, and they were trying to like.
I hope they serve beer in hell.
No,
No?
is it? No. It's oh my god, I'm gonna have to look that up. But what I was gonna say is that Comic-Con that me and Derek went to, where we met Alan Tudyk.
Yeah.
And I was getting an autograph from him, and he must have misinterpreted this because I was asking for a Steve the Pirate impression, and I had a Tucker and Dale like print for him to sign, and he just signed R on it. And I was like, well, I mean, okay.
Yeah.
That's fine, too.
It was pretty funny.
I found it.
Oh, what is it?
It's called Flying Dragon.
Holy shit, yeah, that's generic as fuck.
No, but it was rad.
The game.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Did you forget?
Yeah, no, I totally forgot. we weren't even talking about it, and so it was totally gone from my mind.
Shows how much you pay attention to it.
I pay attention. It was just not
No, it's fine.
the subject of the moment.
It's okay. No, whatever.
Oh yeah,
totally
Tyler
jumped
Labine
in.
was also the drunk dude in Zack and Miri. I forgot about that.
Oh yeah.
Hug it!
Yeah.
Chuck it! Football!
That's right.
Oh my god. It got a 5 out of 10
From IGN.
from IGN. That's
Wow.
hilarious. And it was reviewed by Pierre Schneider, which is basically the CEO of IGN.
Dang.
The movie was called Someone Marry Barry.
Someone marry Barry.
Yeah, and it's fucking hilarious.
Yeah, I mean, I do. I love Tyler Labine. I love Alan Tudyk. Those guys, and they were so great together.
Dude, you guys, honestly, you guys
can do
should
no
get
wrong.
the DC Universe simply to watch Alan Tudyk as Mr. Nobody in Doom Patrol. Like, he is legit, dude, because he really brings out that Mr. Nobody character. He's just like he's like an evil, sinister Deadpool type of dude. Like, he doesn't die, he's just this entity, and he is always breaking the fourth wall. And even in the show, he's just like, we've gone to 12 meandering episodes just so we can get to this part. Like, dude, it is so
That's
cool.
great.
Hell yeah.
I was talking to a buddy of mine, and we were talking about how sorry. I was talking to a buddy of mine, and we were talking about how Alan Tudyk would probably make a pretty awesome Charles Xavier.
Oh, yeah.
I could see it.
Him or Timothy Dalton, I think, would be a great Charles
I
Xavier.
think Timothy Dalton
He
would be
plays as the robot in probably the best new Star Wars movie to date, which is Rogue One.
Also, speaking of, I've had this in my mind for a while, but speaking of actors who should play fictional heroes or villains, I want to see Bryan Cranston as Lex Luthor.
Ooh, that would be dope.
Right?
I would actually really like that.
Like, he's already got, like, the sinister in him from, Breaking Bad. Like,
Who would you guys cast as the new Batman, knowing the age range that they're looking for?
Troy Baker.
thank you.
Troy Baker.
Yes.
But isn't he older though? They're looking for a younger type of person.
Or,
Younger one. I'm sure he could fit that too. He's a younger looking dude. I don't. Fuck it. I don't care.
You know who I think would
He could
actually
be 70 and I'd still pass him, dude.
You know who I think would actually do a good job? And I don't know how you guys are going to feel about this, but old boy that plays Jon Snow.
Kit Harington?
Yeah. I think Kit Harington would be a dope Batman.
I mean, I'd allow it.
I don't know. I'm not familiar
That'd be
enough.
alright.
I'm not familiar enough with it.
He's dope.
He needs to have, like, his next role needs to be something that shows off his
Range.
his acting, because Jon Snow, by the end, like, I mean, pretty much through the entire show, he's kind of only like one note,
Yeah.
and then
Winter's coming.
he was,
And half
he
of
did
that
say
note is a little bitch.
Yeah, so in the beginning, I guess I should rephrase that. In the beginning, he was one note, and by the end of the show, he was two note. Because he like actually like had this sense of, nobility and such, and that show is pretty much just 100%, history repeating itself. So everybody that used to be a character that got, killed off or left or what have you, eventually a newer character basically just came in and took its spot.
For real.
It's, I don't know. I'm still fucking sitting on the ending of that show. So, as I've said before on previous casts, I was very excited about my favorite anime coming to Netflix.
Oh, right.
Neon Genesis Evangelion is amazing. It's an amazing show. It's
really
an amazing book. It's an amazing concept. But the thing is that it's not really what people think it is, And they tried to fix that with the 1997 movie End of Evangelion, where they tried to, fix everything and fix plot holes, and it's actually it's a very like, it almost kind of feels evil because so what happened was the original last two episodes of the show basically they ran out of funding, and it like kind of devolved into this like super cheap looking mess.
It really did.
And like yeah, you've seen it now, so it's really weird. It like turns into this like
psychedelic trip through like what is it, undone footage, and
and it's super low budget, and you can tell. But as time's gone on, I really like that ending, because it just goes to show like the show focuses a lot on like trying to find your place in the world and dealing with it deals with something called the hedgehog's dilemma, which is, I don't know if you know what that means, but it's basically if hedgehogs crave warmth, right? Like they want to get warmer, but the quills on them, basically prevents that. So they would rather just suffer in the cold instead of get close and get warm and be hurt by it. Mm-hmm. So I think isn't that like a Freud term or something like that?
Yeah.
And so like a lot of the crutch of that show is relying on that, and it's one of those shows that you really have to watch a lot just to, like, if you're interested in it, the more you'll watch it, the more you'll understand it.
Right.
And then, so nobody, there was a maximum of like maybe 3 people that liked the ending to that show. And you can tell that the main creator,
The main what?
what did I say?
Creator?
I'm sorry, I got 2 hours of sleep. Creative director,
Oh, okay.
the guy that made it, basically.
I see where you got it from.
Yeah.
It makes sense.
Hideki Anno suffers a lot with depression, anxiety, and like trying to figure shit out.
Dogs barking in the background.
And dogs, yeah. We can wait.
It's a huge issue for him.
I put that in the description of the last one.
Yeah.
Like, watch us as we...
I thought it was fine.
Yeah.
I like you could barely hear it.
Did you see how I turned down the fans?
Yeah, I didn't even hear the fan at all, yeah.
Well, again, it's like, join the guys as they...
We yell at kids and dogs.
Yeah, yell at kids and dogs. And talk about Nintendo.
It's a fucking muffler, bro.
I left that part in.
So he had like a major fucking breakdown in the middle of making this show.
Damn.
And you can tell, like, because a lot of his emotions and everything come through the show. Mm-hmm. And so it almost, the movie that he made, it's a high budget movie that came like a year after, because the backlash of the last 2 episodes was so fucking big that like people were like vandalizing the fuck out of the Gynax Studios, the people that like were making it and everything.
Yeah.
And so it almost kind of feels like, fuck it, here you go. Like you want a fucking ending, here you go. And End of Evangelion is like one of the most like horrifying fucking pictures you'll ever see, because it's like just this mess of like characters being killed off and like not a whole lot of resolution at all. Mm-hmm. But it was Anno basically was like, hey, I think you're smart enough to realize what's going on, but apparently people weren't. So he made the movie. Granted, if he had a little bit more budget, I'm sure he could have done it better. But that end of the show was basically the same thing. You just didn't see anything happening. Yeah. So with all that being said, it's one of my favorite properties of all time. I love it. I have all the manga. I've paid way too much fucking money, and like I paid a guy to take basically the Japan only Blu-ray box set and rip it and put the English dub over it. And so now I have, a Blu-ray copy of the entirety, like all of it. So I'm fine. However, it was announced that it was coming to Netflix a little bit ago.
Yep.
And then we got the news that it was getting redubbed.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah. Who fucking thought that was a good idea?
I am so glad I saw it before it came out on Netflix, bro.
So
I didn't get to finish it, but I guess I'll have to.
Here's the deal.
Watch the Netflix one.
Here's the deal. It's fine. It is totally 100% fine. I'm only like 4 episodes in, but the thing is that it's just nitpick. If you see anybody complaining about it, it's 100% just nitpicking. They just need to get the fuck over it. But there are things that are like glaring fucking issues. Like, so the 3 children in the beginning, there's Rei, Asuka, and there's
Asuka.
Fucking fuck you. It's Asuka.
I'm gonna fucking slap you one of these days.
Don't ever show him how Evangelion is spelled. So purposely call it Evangelion.
Evangelion.
The worst is Evangelion. Like it's not jelly. It's not jelly. So there's the 3 children, right? And there's this thing called the Marduk Institute, which basically looks, studies children and says, okay, that one's a good candidate for, to pilot the mech or to pilot an Eva.
Okay.
And so Rey is the first child because she was the first one to get picked, right? Asuka the second, Shinji the third. They're called the children, right? This is common English language, right?
Yeah,
I'm with you.
I'm lost. I don't know.
In the Netflix redub, they call them. So they would, for example, they'd say, Rey is the first children. Asuka's the second children. Shinji's the third children.
All right.
No.
Who fucking thought that was a good... Who? What?
No way, dude.
I'm dead ass. It's in the first fucking episode. You're like, wait, what? Not only that, Asuka sounds like a 9-year-old, which is really fucking weird because, in End of Eva, she's, going fucking crazy, destroying, like, this bloody mess, like, where she's completely tearing the fuck out of these other Eva mechs. And it's very weird. I don't know. Like, the thing is that if you go into it with that, and also there's this scene where, with, his name's Kaoru. He comes in at, like, one of the very last episodes of the anime. He's, there. I don't know what Anno was thinking when it comes to how he wanted to portray this character, but it almost kind of seems like a lover for Shinji. Because Shinji is very lonely. He's coming at a time where, he's coming up in his adolescence where everything's fucking confusing. And, like, nobody actually really cares for him. Like, the people that say they care for him basically just want him to get in the Eva and protect humanity. Mm-hmm. And he has, like, severe father issues. He never actually kind of really ever knew his mother on, like a coherent level. And here comes this guy named Kaoru, who's basically like, hey, I don't give a fuck what happened to you or where you've been or where you're going. I just want to be your friend. Mm-hmm. And then it eventually turns into, like, maybe it might be something else. Like, maybe it might be romantic.
Sure.
I'm not really big on the idea of, like, them, like, let me rephrase that. I don't really care. I never really cared if it was a love thing. Mm-hmm. I always thought it was just kind of like a really cool thing where it's like there's this guy and he comes in and, it's an interesting character for Shinji to be mingling with, right? And in this Netflix dub, they changed everything around Kaoru. Like, Kaoru is 100% a friend now. And it takes away kind of like the special properties of that relationship.
Yeah.
Because Shinji, like, I don't know, it kind of reminds me a lot of, any adolescent relationship that you ever had where you actually thought you fucking loved that person. Mm-hmm. And their relationship is so short where it's like, that's a really fucking damaging thing to Shinji at that point.
Yeah.
And I feel like when you mess with it like that, it just kind of screws with it.
Yeah.
There's that, the children weird translation, like the fact that everyone's got a different way of saying Nerve and Sele. That's how you say them. Nerve is the the company that they're working for.
NERV.
NERV.
And so, like, everyone's pronouncing it differently?
There are, like, 5 different pronunciations.
I didn't even know there could be.
Yeah, that...
No, it's like incompetency on a whole nother fucking level.
That is so weird.
Like, in Sele's like this seedy underbelly.
I get so annoyed watching this.
Well, as a fan that's watched it countless fucking times, like, it bugs me. But if someone's coming in and you've never seen it, I can't imagine it bugging you that bad because you don't have that relationship with those characters. So it might be totally fine. If you like it, this is my plea to people that are watching it. Please, for the love of God, watch it. That's why it's fucking on Netflix. And why I was so happy that a huge, like, the biggest streaming thing on the planet got my favorite fucking anime. I'm so happy that it's there. And that story is still there. You just have to deal with some of the other shit, you know? And, I mean, like, things aside, like, you know, I really don't like the casting, especially considering the fact that they didn't even give the original voice actors a chance, like, to audition. Like, the woman who plays Rey, Amanda Wynn, like, was like, they never called us. Nothing, which is fucking weird because she's like a producer on the Rebuild movies. Like she's really fucking into it. And like I don't know, like the only one that I recognized was the person that's playing I think it's Misato. It's
Phil.
Yeah. It's that dude. So the eeriest shit is with Misato in this new dub because it almost kind of sounds like her. But I was talking to Angela, I was like, this is fucking weird because, you know in movies when there's like an imposter and they're talking to the titular character or whatever, and there's like something kind of off about them, and you're like, you seem really familiar, but I know that you're a fucking imposter. You know what I'm saying? Like that type of weird fucking eeriness. It was eerie, bro. Because I'm sitting here going like, that kind of sounds like Misato, but it's fucking not. And like, there's like little windows into... Oh, dude, it's weird as fuck. Like, being a huge fan of that original dub, oh, it's weird. Or you could just, you know, be like every other self-righteous douchebag on the internet and just be like, oh, subs only, bro. Because that was relatively untouched, so...
And then I guess they couldn't get the rights to Fly Me to the Moon?
Yeah.
Oh, is that what happened?
That's a rough topic, bro.
Oh.
That's a sensitive...
I feel personally attacked because I only like to watch...
What the fuck is that noise?
English dub. Yeah.
Wait, did you say subs or dubs only?
Subs.
Okay, I was like... I watched it, but I watched the dub, so...
I don't know. Like, just please... If you have any interest in it at all, please go watch it. Everything is on there.
I recommend it as well. Like I
story is so fucking good.
I was able to find a copy online. I watched it throughout all of work. I think it only took me like a week to watch. It was so good. Like it was like once I picked it up, like it I couldn't put it down. And Misato. Oh.
And he got over the cicada sound.
Yeah, I did. Because there's just the weirdest. They're like these cicadas in the background, but they're constantly, like every time there's an outside scene. And I'm just like, why? I get it. They're native to Japan.
It was just something that they decided like, oh, this is artistic.
Yeah.
Yo, we fucked up.
What?
He's not dropping out of Batman.
Oh.
It's because somebody corrected me on the internet, as you do. On the internet, as you just correct people. Because it says the Batman star will no longer appear in the Joanna Hogg's highly anticipated sequel to The Souvenir.
Oh, well,
that's what I thought. I thought it said that he dropped out of a movie, so like he was putting precedence in the Batman.
Oh, okay.
So I guess IGN fucked up because
that was their title.
IGN fucked up. Shocker.
Yeah. IGN, you
shame
bitch.
on you, Sidney Goodman, for looking so good, man.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to blame it on. I'm going to reply, well, IGN fucked up, so...
Yeah, it was IGN. Blame IGN.
I will.
All right, well, on to the topic of the day.
Hooray!
Finally!
Yeah. Nintendo 64 is a home video game console developed and marketed by Nintendo, named for its 64-bit central processing... Named for... Yeah.
Beluga.
You know, I love central processing...
Yeah, because you fuck with them all the time.
Integral part of designing a console.
Named for its 64-bit central processing unit, it was released in June 1996 in Japan, September 1996 in North America and Brazil, March 1997 in Europe and Australia, and September 1997 in France. It was the last major home console to use the cartridge as its primary storage.
Sorry.
Sorry, we were touching.
We were having a light orgy.
Very light.
Motherfuckers.
The one dude that's always complaining about all the shit that's
I wasn't
going on
gonna say it, but
the one motherfucker.
Hey, it's been completely quiet for the most part.
I've learned how to
Except
make
for
love
the-
without noise.
Except for the ghost child on the tricycle.
what does he
of
say
course.
in the Avengers movie? He's like, I've learned how to not move to the point where I've become invisible.
Drax.
Yeah.
I can see you eating the chips.
No, you can't.
No, you can't.
How long have you been there? 1 hour.
Named for its 64-bit central processing unit, it was released in June 1996 in Japan, September 1996 in North America and Brazil, March 1997 in Europe and Australia, and September 1997 in France. It was the last major home console to use the cartridge as its primary storage format until the Nintendo Switch in 2017. The Nintendo 64 was discontinued mid-2002 following the launch of its successor, the GameCube, in 2001.
There's not many days in my life that I can cement into history, but I can tell you that December 25th, 1998, I woke up, I went outside into the living room, Nintendo 64 bundle with GoldenEye was sitting on the VCR, which is a very old-fashioned sentence.
It is a very old-fashioned
And
sentence.
I fucking lost my mind.
As
I
long
was
as you
like,
be kind and rewind.
yeah. I was so happy that was the best Christmas, hands down, I've ever had.
You know, I think the 64... Yeah, the 64 was my second console I ever had. And, of course, I have lots and lots of memories with that thing. Dude, that console is... I have a lot of great memories playing not only, really fucking cool games like that Flying Dragon game I was mentioning, the Zelda games, Mario 64, GoldenEye, Banjo-Kazooie, Donkey Kong. These are all fantastic games, to play, a single player. But
Right.
I think my favorite moments playing the 64 was with my father, because we had NFL Blitz or Madden. Is that which one is it? I know
There's both on.
I know
60.
it's
Are you
Blitz.
talking about
Blitz
Blitz,
is
where
the-
you just fuck people up
Yeah.
after you tackle them?
Blitz was
Yeah.
the game that I played with my dad, and we got the dude. There were so many games that where these or so many franchises that started out on the 64. You've got not Mario Kart, but Super Smash Brothers. Mario Kart became super relevant in the 64 era. GoldenEye was fucking rad. There's so many things that came to the 64 that we still have today.
Right.
However, I don't know how far this will get into it, but it was very, very expensive to develop for this console.
It really was.
Me and Derek still have a Nintendo 64.
I do too. I'm just Joey's borrowing it right now.
Mine is really, really finicky. The game has to be put in just the right way.
Oh,
And then,
yeah.
once you see the logo come up, you're like, don't touch it. It's
Hell,
perfect.
They were like that new.
Yeah. I think, honestly, the 64 did a lot, not only for, us as gamers or whatever, but I think for, the gaming industry in general. It really brought gaming to, a forefront. Where it was we're not fucking around. This is a viable product, and this is a viable way to entertain yourself apart from going outside and doing things that people don't like doing.
The only thing that I would put that against is I wouldn't say it was just the 64. I would say it's this era. It's the 3D polygonal era where we've got the... Which one is it for Sega?
The Saturn.
The Saturn. The Saturn was the 64-bit. And then the PlayStation. This is kind of where things started to get fucking real, like you're saying. Where it's okay, video games are not just fucking, Save the Princess and all this shit. Like, there's some actual really fucking great games.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, and the 64 was the only console that we ever had at my home.
Really?
And because my brother went out and bought one day, and we got the fuck down on that thing. Like,
yeah,
it was all about Mario 64. That's, to this day, for 64, like, it's all about Mario for me.
And dude, it's crazy because that game came out in '96, right? It was a launch title for the 64, and it's crazy to see how influential that first 3D Mario game was.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
Like, the reverberations can still be felt today, which is it's fucking crazy.
Matter of fact, this Sunday that just passed was Mario's birthday. No, Mario 64's birthday.
Yeah.
So
and also this is the week where the Nintendo 64 came out in Japan. So, very relevant topic right now.
Yep.
Codenamed Project Reality, the Nintendo 64 design was mostly complete by mid-1995, but its launch was delayed until 1996 when Time named it Machine of the Year. It was launched with 3 games, Super Mario 64 and Pilot Wings 64, that was also worldwide, and, Saikyo Habu Shogi, exclusive to Japan. I don't think you know what that is either, so
yeah, I don't.
Shut the fuck up. As a part of the 5th generation of gaming, the system competed primarily with the Sony PlayStation and the Sega Saturn.
Just like you said.
Yep. The suggested retail price of its United States launch was US dollar.
Dude, yeah, don't.
Yeah.
I tried to take as many of those as I could.
I was trying to
US dollar.
US money sign.
I was trying to take as many of those out. Sorry, I missed one.
No, you're good. The suggested retail price in its United States launch was about $200, and 32.93 million units were sold worldwide. In 2015, IGN named it the 9th greatest video game console of all time.
Did you read your paragraph? I don't remember you reading your paragraph.
Yeah. Remember I stopped in the middle of it because y'all were pussyfooting?
Oh, that's why.
Pussy touching.
That's right.
Scissor me timbers.
My foot wasn't anywhere near his.
I didn't touch his timbers, I swear.
This was like the first console that got like absolutely fucking destroyed by a different company, because the Sony PlayStation's like sitting at like what 110 million units. Like it got fucked, bro. Like there's no other way around it. No. Like Sony came out and basically just swung a giant dick and was like, yo,
it's just like, fuck you, bro.
we're in here now. Fuck you, Nintendo, with your Mario and your Zelda. Yeah. I'll never fucking forget those Crash Bandicoot commercials where he's sitting outside
with
of
the
Nintendo,
megaphone
and he's like, come out, little plumber boy. I'm like, fuck.
It's like, oh, they are throwing shade.
Dude, the PlayStation was so sick.
Well, around the end of the 1980s, Nintendo led the video game industry with its Nintendo Entertainment System.
NES.
Nah. Let's cut that out.
NES is okay.
Wait, what?
No.
NES Why is NES okay?
NES is okay. Because SNES sounds like you're sneezing. And I don't ever want you to disrespect SNES.
What if you have a snook in your sniz and you want to play some SNES?
You know, that joke was
shut
funny.
Your fucking mouth like now.
Although, the NES follow-up console, the Super NES...
SNES.
Oh my god.
See, when you say SNES, it sounds like you're sneezing.
No,
and it sounds like it's fucking disrespect to the
sneeze,
greatest
go,
console ever fucking made.
Now, every time he says SNES, I'm just going to be like, God bless you.
Yes.
Like, bless
That's
you.
a good idea.
I like that.
Let me start that out, because that wasn't the full sentence. Although the NES follow-up console, the Super NES, was successful, sales took a hit from the Japanese recession. Competition from longtime rival Sega and relative newcomer Sony emphasized Nintendo's need to develop a successor to the SNES or risk losing market dominance to its competitors. Further complicating matters, Nintendo also faced a backlash from third-party developers unhappy with Nintendo's strict licensing policies.
Including Squaresoft. Squaresoft, known as the people who were pumping out fucking some of the greatest RPGs the entire video game industry has ever known, that is probably one of my favorite stories in gaming history is the breakup between Squaresoft and Nintendo. Because when Nintendo was developing the Nintendo 64, it made it really fucking hard to develop for these things, and there was a lot of limitations that came with it. Cart-based gaming was dying very fucking fast. Did the Saturn use discs, or were they...
No, I think...
Saturn used discs?
Yeah, because there was Sega Saturn and then there was Sega CD.
So fucking cart-based gaming was like almost dead, and Nintendo was still holding on to fucking this relic of gaming, and it just didn't make any sense because it was incredibly fucking expensive to put a game on these cartridges, and when it came down to developing Final Fantasy VII, they're like, yo, we can't put this on a cartridge. We can't. So therefore, they started talking to Sony, and they're like, "Hey, we have no limitations hardly at all on the PlayStation, and so now we're gonna cut ties with you guys, and we're gonna go over there because you guys are just holding on to this fucking, antiquated system."
Yeah. It would have been very interesting though to see that on just one cartridge, and because the original is the 3 discs on PlayStation.
Yep.
Would it have been on just one, do you think, or would they have...
No, it would have been like 10.
Yeah.
Like Final Fantasy VII in its current state would have been like easily like 10 cartridges. Like it's crazy.
I didn't know like
no. Yeah. That conversion is insane.
Yeah.
And Nintendo wanted it that way. They wanted to fucking... I don't know. I still don't understand it. And like that stubbornness that Nintendo had kind of really continued for a very fucking long time. Like, really, the only time I felt like it kind of started to falter was in, like, 2016, 2017, when they started to, loosen their grip on the YouTube restrictions that they had. Because if anybody knows, if you made any kind of video on YouTube with any kind of Nintendo footage at all, they'd basically take 90% of the profit that you made off that video. Like, they were fuckheads about it.
That actually is one of the reasons that led me to, because when I started streaming, my streamer name was Deja Nintendo.
Yeah.
And then when I became a Twitch affiliate, I was like, I want somebody to make a logo for me. And then I was like, I should probably change that.
Yeah.
Because I'm thinking if
they're not nearly as bad today.
Well, I still didn't want to.
No, I
didn't want to roll those
didn't
dice.
Want to open that can of worms.
No, hell no.
No, it's kind of hard to imagine a world where the 64 didn't have cartridges, but it was almost a reality. There was a little bit of an expansion thing that only came out in Japan called. It was like the 64DD. It was the disk drive.
Yeah.
Where it was like... And there were actual developers that were developing games for like a disc-based version of the 64. It's crazy.
I thought you were going to mention the fucking expansion pack that was an extra $50.
Yeah.
Just so you could play Majora's Mask.
And Donkey Kong.
Yeah.
Donkey Kong 64.
Alright, so... Silicon Graphics Inc. SGI.
God bless you.
Silicon.
What is it with you and just trying to fucking pronounce shit?
It's just fun because it makes you guys all upset.
It is fun.
A longtime leader in graphics visual I almost said visualization.
You also said silicone instead of silicon.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's right. Silicon Graphics Inc. SGI.
Bless you.
A longtime leader in graphics visualization and supercomputing, was interested in expanding its business by adapting its technology into the higher volume realm of consumer products, starting with the video game market. Based upon MIPS R4000 family of supercomputing and workstation CPUs.
Really?
Jesus.
No MIPS?
Well, I thought about it. So, based upon its MIPS or R4000 family of supercomputing and workstation CPUs, SGI developed a CPU requiring a fraction of the resources, consuming only 0.5 watts of power instead of 1.5 to 2 watts, with an estimated target price of $40 instead of $80 to $200. The company created a design proposal for a video game system, seeking an already well-established partner in the market. Jim Clark, founder of Ski,
Bless you.
initially offered the proposal to Tom
Kalinske.
Yeah.
Kalinske.
Yeah. All right. Jim Clark, founder of Ski, initially offered the proposal to Tom Kalinske, who was the CEO of Sega of America. The next candidate would be Nintendo.
You know, it's crazy because I'm thinking about it now. It's like, this is kind of where Nintendo's stubbornness to, like, progress, like, technologically, kind of started. Like, you know, we want to make fun of the Switch for not being as powerful as, you know, the PS4 and the Xbox and such. And you could have said the same thing about the PS3, Xbox 360, and the Wii. You know, like, this is kind of where it all started. Like, with the Super Nintendo and the NES, like, they were super fucking into the idea, like, they had the most powerful console. And it kind of started with the 64, where it's like, no, we're just kind of going to do our own thing.
I mean, so it sounds like they were fine with making what they already had better, but they just weren't going to make a jump to anything else.
Basically, they just swung a big dick. Like, I know that we love that saying right now.
Lots of big dicks.
There are so many big dicks.
Yeah, they just didn't care at all. They're like, you know what? Our shit is so good that we're just gonna continue to make it. We're
All
not gonna...
the big dick swinging.
Yeah.
Not over here, though. I'm good.
Relatively sized dick here.
The old dick twist.
The old average on Anaconda.
It's more
Old average Joe.
It's more like a garden snake.
Yeah.
But I'm all right. The historical details of these preliminary negotiations were controversial between the two competing suitors. Tom Kalinske said that he and Joe Miller of Sega of America were, quote, quite impressed with SGI's prototype, inviting their hardware team to travel from Japan to meet with SGI.
Bless you.
Thank you. The engineers from Sega Enterprises claimed that their evaluation of the early prototype had uncovered several unresolved hardware issues and deficiencies. Those were subsequently resolved, but Sega had already decided against SGI's design.
Well, ruh-roh.
I don't really know, because I never did it with the Super Nintendo, but would it be fair to say that the whole phenomenon with the whole, like, taking the cartridge out, blowing in it to make sure that it works,
That
and
is
slamming
actually
it back down?
On, I don't know if it's on the 64, but I know it's on a cartridge. That's actually a warning on the back to
It
not
is the
do
64
that.
cartridge.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It says, hey, don't do that, because there's, like, really sensitive prongs inside this
The
cartridge.
two most
Like,
ignored warnings in America, that one, and the fact that on Red Bull it tells you not to mix it with alcohol.
Yeah.
and, you know,
Terms of service.
don't smoke
Yeah.
on cigarettes.
And iTunes
Any
agreements.
terms of service, yeah.
First of all, if you do that, you're a fucking monster, because it doesn't help, like, anything at all. like, I still see, like, that horrifying video on Facebook from time to time with that guy, like, freaking the fuck out. He'll, like, take the cartridge out, and, like, he'll blow into it for, like, a solid 30 seconds.
Yeah, he's just sitting there like...
And then he
He's,
like
running out
slams
of
it the fuck down in the console. I'm like, please take that away from that man.
Yeah.
He does
Like,
not.
that's why
deserve it.
that's why the thing doesn't work, because you're fucking mistreating it, you asshole.
For real.
Jesus.
That's why you don't have nice things.
Exactly.
Oh, I just got an email from UPS saying that I was getting a package tomorrow, and I was like, what the fuck? No, I'm not. And then I thought about it. I was like, yeah, I'm getting Bloodstained tomorrow, so I'm fucking excited.
Switch?
Yeah.
Did you get the edition?
What?
Did you get the fuck your mother edition?
Yeah.
Oh, Bloodstained? No, that was relegated to the backers. Like, there was a cool collector's edition. Apparently, there's a steelbook for the PS4 version, though.
Really?
At Best Buy. So I thought about maybe buying it.
It's what, like $40?
Yeah. But the Switch version's on sale right now for only $32. I mean, you should fucking do it, because it's going to be a great game. Nintendo resisted that summary conclusion. Nintendo resisted that summary conclusion, arguing that the real reason for the SGI's ultimate choice of partner is that Nintendo was a more appealing business partner than Sega. Poor Sega, man. Fucking poor Sega.
We're better
Just
than you
got
are.
fucking buried by just about everything. Sorry, I lost my spot. While Sega demanded exclusive rights to the chip, Nintendo was willing to license the technology on a non-exclusive basis. Michael Slater, publisher of Microprocessor Report. That's weird. The mere fact of a business relationship, there is significant. What the fuck?
Yeah, it's...
The mere fact of a business relationship there is significant.
Oh, okay, all right. While Sega demanded exclusive rights to the chip, Nintendo was willing to license the technology on a non-exclusive basis. Michael Slater, publisher of Microprocessor Report, said, the mere fact of a business relationship there is significant because of Nintendo's phenomenal ability to drive volume. If it works at all, it could bring MIPS to levels of volume SGI never dreamed of. Which he's got a point. You know, Nintendo kind of does the same thing that Apple does, unfortunately, where they, you know, limit the amount that they put out, and then it drives up the want and the need for it. You know, it's... I hate that shit.
Next thing you know, we're going to see a Switch stand for $1,000.
I know,
I believe it.
God,
is that real?
batshit insane.
What does it do?
It's just a
Holds
stand.
your screen up.
And it's $1,000.
Yeah.
Oh, Apple.
Oh, your turn, Nikolai.
Let me just pick up my iPhone.
Nicola. no shit.
After we've bagged on
Yeah.
Apple.
What are they thinking?
I love Apple, but holy fuck, man. That's unforgivable. Like, come on.
Really? Jim Clark met with Nintendo CEO Hiroshi Yamauchi in early 1993, thus initiating Project Reality. On August 23rd of 93, the two companies announced a global joint development and licensing agreement surrounding Project Reality, projecting that the yet unnamed eventual product would be, quote, developed specifically for Nintendo, will be unveiled in arcades in 94, and will be available for home use by late 1995, below $250. The announcement coincided with Nintendo's August 93
Shoshinkai.
Shoshinkai. This announcement coincided with Nintendo's August 93 Shoshinkai trade show.
Nice.
Shoshinkai trade show.
This motherfucker.
What?
With his fucking airs about him.
With his airs and his ways. Let's see. Reality Immersion Technology is the name Ski had given the set of core componentry.
Oh god, he's really going to do that the whole time.
I am.
isn't he?
I'm going to do that the entire episode. Buckle up. Get settled in.
Click.
Which would be first utilized in Project Reality, the MIPS R4300i CPU, the MIPS Reality coprocessor, and the embedded software. Some chip technology and manufacturing was provided by NEC, Toshiba, and Sharp. Ski had recently acquired MIPS Computer Systems, renamed it to MIPS Technologies, and the two worked together to be ultimately responsible for the design of the Reality Immersion Technology chips under engineering director Jim Ferran and chief hardware architect Tim Van Hook.
What a fucking cool name.
I know, right? I am Tim Van Hook!
Mr. Van Hook, how would you like your pancakes today? A little on the fluffy side.
With crunchy edges.
There, Jenkins.
And for dessert, bring me the head of Jonathan! He has wronged me!
I shall have the pancakes with Mrs. Butterworth.
And I know when you use that generic shit. It better be authentic.
I know.
Or you'll be
I
walking
know,
the plank.
I know when you use Aunt Jemima instead.
Yeah,
I get it.
exactly.
I get it.
Next level comedy right there.
That's right.
Right.
You can't write that kind of shit.
Oh, fuck.
The initial Project Reality game development platform was developed and sold by SGI in the form of its $100,000 to $250,000 Onyx supercomputer loaded with the namesake $50,000 Reality Engine 2 graphics boards and 4 150 MHz R4400 CPUs. And with early Project Reality application... Oh, wait.
Now is not playtime.
Go back inside.
The time to play is over.
Jenkins,
So saith Timothy Van Hook.
get my rifle.
Get me the
No.
hook.
Get me my blunderbuss.
Get me the crock.
And with early Project Reality applications and emulation APIs based on Performer and OpenGL. This graphics supercomputing platform had... I was going to say severed.
What is it?
It's served.
Oh.
This graphics supercomputing platform had served as the source design which SGI had reduced down to become the reality immersion technology for... This graphics supercomputing platform had served as the source design which SGI had reduced down to become the reality immersion technology for Project Reality.
I know that this episode is about the N64, but what the fuck are we even talking about anymore? Honest to God. Like,
I don't fucking know, man.
We're getting a little too into the...
I just copied the fucking wiki, bro.
I mean,
that's all.
there's somebody out there.
We're
that
way
knows
too into the
shit.
guts here.
somebody out there's like, oh yeah, reality immersion technology.
Now we can talk about something that we all can, agree upon. The N64 controller was garbage.
Trash.
It was
Now
like
here's
really,
something
really fucking
everyone can
bad.
enjoy.
Like,
Like really fucking bad.
Really bad.
how can we contort everyone's hands and make them
Like, was
into
there
claws?
like a definitive way to hold that controller?
No, there
I don't
wasn't.
think
No,
so.
no.
I mean,
way.
Depends on what you're playing.
With my adult hands, I bought a 64 a long time ago, ironically enough, from Fun Unlimited, and I was like, how the fuck am I supposed to do this? I'm sitting there playing Smash, and I'm like, fuck, bro.
You know what was the worst is the fact that
Your mother.
the default controls for GoldenEye,
Trebek.
to move, it was the fucking C buttons.
Oh,
And then
God.
to look, it
Oh, God.
was the joystick.
Yeah.
I'm like, what kind of
That joystick is so bad.
tomfuckery?
What kind
this?
of black magic bullshit is this?
I mean, at the time, it was revolutionary, but fuck, man. Because we got...
Butt fuckery.
Yeah.
I mean, GoldenEye 64 is like one of the very earliest concepts of a first-person shooter coming to... Oh, she's got a little keychain of the 64 controller. That's cute.
Nice.
Yeah, man. I mean, especially coming off the Super Nintendo's controller, which was like ergonomically designed to feel fucking great in your hands. It's a very weird departure. The system's game controller was a Super Nintendo controller modified to have a primitive analog joystick and a Z trigger. Under maximal secrecy, even from the rest of the company, a LucasArts developer said his team would furtively hide the prototype controller in a cardboard box while we used it. And in answer to the inevitable questions of what we were doing, we replied jokingly that it was a new type of controller, a bowl of liquid that absorbed your thoughts through your fingertips. Of course, you had to think it was Japanese. Of course, you had to think in Japanese.
That's pretty fucking
God,
funny.
I love Japan.
That would have been a lot more comfortable, too.
I know, huh?
Oh, he's dead.
It looks like we're a jellyfish.
Yeah.
He's dead, Jim.
But you have to think in Japanese, so... Move the car!
That is not Japanese.
Driver to the left!
That's super racist.
It is very racist.
Oh god, we're gonna get in trouble.
Oh.
Star Wars a Puerto Rico!
His daddy was.
On June 23rd of 94... Start that over. On June 23rd of 94, Nintendo announced the new official name of the still unfinished console as Ultra 64. The first group of elite developers selected by Nintendo was nicknamed the Dream Team, Silicon Graphics Incorporated, Alias Research Inc., Software Creations, Rambus Inc., Multigen Inc., Rare Ltd., and Rare Coin It Toys and Games Inc., WMS Industries Inc., Acclaim Entertainment, Williams Entertainment Inc., Paradigm Simulation Inc., Spectrum Holobyte, DMA Design Ltd.,
Which is now known as Rockstar.
Oh. Angel Studios, Ocean, Time Warner Interactive, and Mindscape.
So is Rambus Inc. a polygonal Rambo?
I knew you were gonna fucking make that
You
joke.
just gotta fucking let
I
it
can't
go.
help
Garrett.
it.
Old
I
son of a
can't- no,
bitch!
I'm
I
gonna
knew
do
you were
it.
gonna make that
You just
fucking
gotta
joke.
fucking let it go, bro.
Never!
I saw that shit coming from 50 fucking miles away.
God.
I was like, he's gonna make a fucking
You
political
love me anyway,
joke.
shut up.
He's gonna make a fucking political joke.
We deal with a lot.
Deal with it!
Shut up.
You shut up.
Shut your goddamn mouth.
Just read already.
You shut your mouth when you're talking to me.
Nobody makes me bleed my own blood.
By purchasing and developing upon Project Reality's graphics supercomputing platform, Nintendo and its Dream Team could begin prototyping their games according to SKU's estimated console performance profile, prior to the finalization of the console hardware specifications. When the Ultra 64 hardware was finalized, the supercomputer-based prototyping platform was later supplanted by a much cheaper and fully accurate console simulation board to be hosted within a low-end ski indie workstation in July 1995.
It's not even like in the same context as your sentence. It's ski. It's never just like ski. Like low end ski indie. It's low end ski indie. like
He knows.
we photoshopped a word.
Yeah, but he's come this far.
I
He's
can't
Yeah.
stop. I can't stop.
like we have two.
It's balls to the wall now.
We have two dads on the podcast, but this is like the dad.
Yeah.
Like
It's true. Ski's early performance estimates. No.
Yeah, estimates.
Yeah, okay. Ski's early performance estimates based upon its supercomputing platform were ultimately reported to have been fairly accurate to the final Ultra 64 product, allowing LucasArts developers to port their Star Wars game prototype to console reference hardware in only 3 days.
fucking what was it? Shadows of the Empire game.
Yep. There was a lot of Star Wars love on
That
this
was
console.
that was my favorite N64.
See, I
Star-
never-
that and Pod Racing.
Yeah,
I-
Pod Racer
I
was
never-
my
still
shit.
have that.
I never
I
played
still
any
have
Star
that
Wars
game.
games on the N64 console, but I did play Pod Racer at like arcades.
Yeah, dude. Pod Racer was my shit.
Dude,
I still
didn't
have that
Pod
game.
Racer have like a huge
It
fucking
did.
thing
It
where you
did.
were like, dude, that was the shit,
It
bro.
was the shit.
You had the
Didn't we
two-handed-
have that in the Fun Unlimited arcade
did.
at one time? Dude, that thing was fucking rad, bro. That thing
Yeah,
was
because
really
you had to
cool.
like you had to like turn
Yeah.
like that.
Oh my
I
God,
love that
dude.
Dude, that shit was so
Can you
dope.
imagine how much one of those would cost today?
I feel like a mannequin, guys.
It's okay that I'm not movie quality.
It's okay that I'm
Dude,
not in the actual movie.
If I bought that fucker, it would take up this whole room.
Oh yeah.
Like, it wouldn't be the podcast room anymore. It'd
It
be
would
the,
sit
it'd
in
be
the
the
pod
Pod
race.
Racer
There you
room.
go.
I'd be a Pod Race, yeah.
Yeah, dude,
Fuck
it'd be
yeah,
so
dude.
worth it.
Oh, fuck. Dude, there's gotta be like a lot of commas in that
Oh,
fucking
yeah.
price tag. Fuck, bro.
The console design was publicly revealed for the first time in Q2 of 1994. Images of the console displayed the Nintendo Ultra 64 logo and ROM cartridge, but no controller. This prototype console's form factor would be retained by the product when it eventually launched.
They knew.
They
They knew how fucking awful that controller was.
Having initially indicated the possibility of utilizing the increasingly popular CD-ROM if the medium's endemic performance problems were solved, the company now announced a much faster but space-limited cartridge-based system, which prompted open analysis by the gaming press. The system was frequently marketed as the world's first 64-bit gaming system, often stating the console was more powerful than the first moon landing computers. Sorry, I drooled for a minute.
I've been doing that a lot lately,
Me
too.
too.
The
What
power of the
what
N64 was just overcoming you.
They're
And
just juicy as fuck, man. Atari had already claimed to have made the first 64-bit game console with their Atari Jaguar, but the Jaguar only uses a general 64-bit architecture in conjunction with two 32-bit RISC processors and a 1632-bit Motorola 68000.
Whatever the fuck that means.
Yeah, whatever the fuck that is.
The newly renamed Nintendo 64 console was fully unveiled to the public in playable form on November 24th, 1995 at Nintendo's 7th annual Shoshinkai trade show. Eager for the preview, quote, hordes of Japanese school kids huddled in the cold outside, the electricity of anticipation clearly rippling through their ranks, unquote. Photos of the event were disseminated?
Mm-hmm.
Photos of the event were disseminated online by Game Zero magazine 2 days later. Official coverage by Nintendo followed later via the Nintendo Power website and print magazine.
It's I believe it's inseminated.
I think it's disseminated.
That's really weird.
Disseminated. It's a symbolism.
The word you're looking for is symbolism.
Sibilance.
Philodendron.
The Human Torch was denied a bank loan.
The arsonist has oddly shaped feet. The console was originally slated for release by Christmas of 1995.
Yeah, boy.
In May 95, Nintendo delayed the release to April of 96. Consumers anticipating a Nintendo release the following year at a lower price than the competition reportedly reduced the sales of competing Sega and Sony consoles during the important Christmas shopping season. Electronic Gaming Monthly editor Ed Semrad even suggested that Nintendo may have announced the April 1996 release date with this end in mind, knowing in advance that the system would not be ready by that date.
That's
I'm
hilarious.
sure they did. I'm sure they did.
That's hilarious.
Inix. Good.
Bless you.
In its explanation of the delay, Nintendo claimed it needed more time for Nintendo 64 software to mature. That just sounds weird. Yeah, we've got it sitting in the back. It's just not ripe yet. Sorry.
It hasn't hit puberty.
30 more days we can legally sell it.
The games are in the back. Hey, can we go yet? No! And for third-party developers to produce games. Adrian Sfardi. Is that how you pronounce that?
Just do it.
Good God.
I'm sure it's Sephardi.
Who fucking thought that was a good
Sparty.
I can't even say.
I promise you all, we are adults.
Yeah.
Apparently,
We're
we
not
have
very
not
mature
matured
ones.
either.
We should be sitting on a shelf until we're mature.
God damn it.
Evidently.
Adrian Sephardi.
Evidently.
Meanwhile,
To be
under Meg
fair,
Griffin's bra.
To be
Bobby
fair.
Moynihan!
Anybody smell that pepper?
okay, none of this makes any sense now. It's time to stop now, Mac.
Where are your parents?
Um,
It's time to stop.
Adrian Sephardi, a former generator
Pardon me?
a former generator of flatulence.
You're right.
A former generator. He once heated the home of a family of 4.
What a horrible.
Before they killed an
What a
alien.
horrible life this man has must have lived. Jesus Christ.
Oh my god! All right.
Don't fucking. do
It's
it.
funny because you're the oldest one out of all of us, and you're the one that's giggling the
true.
most.
I'm like tearing up. I can't hear you.
It was a joke. You're good.
Oh. Adrian Sephardi, a former engineer of Ski, attributed the delay to hardware problems. He claimed that the chips underperformed in testing and were being redesigned.
He can't help it. He's got to.
I've come this far. In 1996, the Nintendo 64's software development kit was completely redesigned as the Windows-based partner N64 system by Kyoto Microcomputer Company of Japan. Limited, but I didn't feel like saying it.
Read the page! His reality processor has ski embedded in it.
It will never leave.
The Nintendo 64 release date was later delayed again to June 23rd, 1996. Nintendo said the reason for this latest delay, and in particular the cancellation of plans to release the console in all markets worldwide simultaneously, was that the company's marketing studies now indicated that they would not be able to manufacture enough units to meet demand by April 1996, potentially angering retailers in the same way Sega had done with its surprise early launch of the Saturn in North America and Europe.
To counteract the possibility that gamers would grow impatient with the wait for the Nintendo 64 and purchase one of the several competing consoles already on the market, Nintendo ran ads for the system well in advance of its announced release dates with slogans like "Wait for it" and "Is it worth the wait? Only if you want the best."
I remember those. Fucking,
I don't remember any of these,
dude. Like in the Nintendo Power magazines.
Yeah,
that's where they would be. Like you'd see, wait for it, Nintendo 64, and it's like it was cool.
Yeah, I subscribed to OPM, Official PlayStation Magazine.
Yeah.
Oh, did you?
No, dude, that would be waiting for me. Like when it was like the day that it came, it was waiting for me after I got out of school. And I would go, me and my friends would always discuss this. We'd be like, yeah, like I really hope that I have to poo when I get home so I can read the magazine.
So you're holding your poop in all day.
Yeah. I mean, that's what we wanted to do. Those were our plans.
That is fucking funny.
Right? The Nintendo 64's North American launch was backed with a $54 million marketing campaign by Leo Burnett Worldwide, meaning over $100 in marketing per North American unit that had been manufactured up to this point. While the competing Saturn and PlayStation both set teenagers and adults as their target audience, the Nintendo 64's audience was preteens.
So, the one question we're not asking is, yeah, but how does it stack up against the Okama Game Sphere?
Okama Game Sphere!
Game Sphere.
Oh, Okama Game Sphere!
That's racist.
Okama Game Sphere.
I mean,
hey,
isn't that when you're going to play all your Chin Pokemon and...
Read the fucking thing, will you?
Alabama Man.
Alabama Man was the best. To boost sales during the slow post-Christmas season, Nintendo and General Mills worked together on a promotional campaign that appeared in early '99. The advertisement by Saatchi & Saatchi New York began on... I'm going to say that again, just with less pause.
Saatchi & Saatchi, call us now.
You break a leg, we get your money.
Legal firm.
Give us your money!
We get your money in.
The advertisement by Saatchi & Saatchi New York began on January 25th and encouraged children to buy Fruit by the Foot snacks for tips. I forgot all about those.
Yeah.
Fruit by the Foot snacks for tips to help them with their Nintendo 64 games.
Jesus Christ.
90 different...
9 different tips were available.
9 whole tips! 90 different tips were available with 3 variations of 30 tips each. Nintendo advertised its Funtastic series of peripherals with a $10 million print and a television campaign from February 28th to April 30th in 2000. Leo Burnett Worldwide was in charge again.
I remember...
That's a weird way to end that.
I'm sorry.
I remember back in the, not the N64 days, but back in the Super Nintendo days, I remember... Because I had Super Mario All-Stars, and that was just like almost... It was like all the original Mario games. You know? And I remember on the backs of macaroni and cheese boxes, they would give you like... Each box would be like a different tip on a level. And I remember like you would cut the backs of the box out, and then eventually when you had so many of the tips, you would mail it in and get something.
Yeah.
I can't remember what it was though, but yeah, I never ended up doing that part, but I just remembered I was like, oh, you gotta buy this box of macaroni and cheese, Mom, because I don't know how to pass this level. there was no internet.
Dude,
I couldn't just pull out my iPhone. Yeah.
I need this mac and cheese, Mom!
Like, fuck, bro, I still have the the cup of noodles that has cloud on it.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
That's badass.
I'm like, I gotta fucking have it, babe. I gotta have it. I'm
I love
sorry.
how in the game when you run into the truck at the main capital, they're like, "Oh look, it's cup noodles."
Oh, in 15.
Like it's not cup of noodles, it's cup noodles.
Yeah. So, a lot of super prolific games came out for this console. We've got...
Are we going to just kind of like mention a few of the things we
Yeah,
played?
yeah.
Cool.
I think we should end with
Yeah.
our favorite memories
I'm
of the
down.
console.
What you playing?
I mean, I already
In
mentioned...
1996!
What did you play?
I already mentioned, my favorite memories were playing, NFL Blitz with my dad and playing Mario Kart with him and stuff, and I used to get so fucking mad at him because he would just destroy me on these fucking games, and I'm like, Dad, I can't tell you how much I hate you right now. Like it's impossible for my my brain right now to tell you.
To compute the amount of hate that I feel for you right at this moment. Dude, a lot of my favorite games, I mean, of course, the Golden Eyes and the
Yep.
Mario Karts and all that. But, dude, I loved the fuck out of all of the wrestling games that came out for the 64. WWF No Mercy, WrestleMania 2000, NWO versus WCW Revenge.
I still have that.
That game is... those games were so fun to play. Like, those were...
We don't talk about Backstage Assault though.
No, we don't.
We don't talk
No,
about
we
that.
don't. Or,
That game is garbage.
or what is it? ECW's Backyard Wrestling.
my
Do you
God.
remember that one?
Dude, was that was a PS2, right?
I think so.
The one with fucking
ICP.
ICP on the
Oh,
title?
yeah.
Okay, that game was kind of fun. I will not lie. It was kind of fun.
If it wasn't made by Ukes, dude, I wasn't gonna fucking play it.
Yeah.
Because they made, the best fucking games. Those games, I liked Killer Instinct. Killer Instinct was fucking dope. What else did I play on there? I played a bunch of fucking games on that thing.
Zelda?
I did. I played Ocarina of Time.
But did you play Majora's Mask?
I didn't play Majora's
Majora's Mask is one of the most unique video games ever. Like, fuck, man. You take a game like
It's
Ocarina...
hard.
It's not really hard, it's more stressful. Like, it's just, in its systems where you have to, manage time and, you only got 72 hours before the world ends and you got to do everything before then.
Oh, shit.
But they add in the that's actually when I was thinking about it, I was like, I know I want to get a Zelda tattoo, but I don't know what I wanted to get. I was thinking about it, I was like, I could go every generic shit ever and just do the shield and the Master Sword in it. And I was like, no, that's in every fucking game. And I started thinking about it and I was like, Majora's Mask is probably my favorite Zelda game at times. I'll always love A Link to the Past and Ocarina of Time. In fact, I would say that those are the best titles of Zelda. And then also you can throw in, more contemporary titles like Breath of the Wild,
Wind Waker.
and Wind Waker. But everybody shit on that game before they even fucking played it.
Twilight Princess, that was a really good one.
They're all great. They're all fucking great games. But I love the super fucked up nature of Majora's Mask.
Mm-hmm.
They took something that was so pure and so innocent and so, carefree. Ocarina of Time is a great fucking video game because it takes you to a different place. You actually, especially when you were playing it on the 64, you felt... I can't speak for everybody, but I felt like I actually wasn't that a person anymore. I felt like I was Link in this fucking game. I loved that game so much. And then you put Link in this really weird what's the place from kind of like Wonderland. Alice in Wonderland. Is that what it's called?
Yeah, Wonderland.
Yeah.
Or Underland, if you want to go.
It felt like the Wonderland of Hyrule, where he literally falls through a fucking hole, and he's in this weird part of the earth. It's very strange, and it's very sad. It's fucked up because in the very beginning of the game, apocalypse is coming. And everyone's fucking sad about it. And they're you see all these people doing the last things that they want to do before they know that they're going to die. And you have to go through that so many times because you're constantly... There's a rewind feature where you have to rewind the 72 hours just to be able to do everything.
Right.
And you have to watch all these people go through this all the time. And it's very sad. It's a very sad game. And it's got one of Koji Kondo's like most personal soundtracks I think he's ever made.
That's dope.
Like Song of Healing is like one of the most haunting songs ever. But it's all about, healing. And I don't know, I have a very, very fond memory of Majora's Mask, because that game used to scare the fuck out of me. Like, I couldn't fucking play it. I had to get a little older before I was like, yeah, now we can play that game.
Majora's Mask. Like, I just didn't like the time constraint of the game. Like,
It's not for everybody.
yeah. I mean, I like playing
It pushed a
because
lot of people away out of
It was
that.
a Zelda game, but the moon fucking scared the bejesus.
It was
out of
very
me.
fucking dark. It was a
Yeah.
dark ass game.
When you just look up and you just see this fucking moon, just like,
Hey.
What you doing there?
Yeah, there was like
Tickle ya.
there was like no reason for it to be as fucked up as it was, and it's crazy because that game came out like a year after Ocarina of Time. Like they basically just took every asset and just put it into a different world. Like they're all the same characters, like all the same models, like everything. Like they gave Link a little bit of a flippy dippy shit, you know, when you're like jumping between platform to platform.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, it was basically essentially the same game, just in a different place.
I played I played your typical, some of my best memories are, having fucking sleepovers and playing slaps only odd jobs on GoldenEye.
Oh, yeah, dude.
Or Rockets only. But I did play a lot of games on the N64. Like, there was a game I loved to play called Fighting Force.
Yeah.
That game was just like it was like the like Streets of Rage, like the platformer beat 'em ups. This was like that, but it was like a 3D beat 'em up. So
Oh, dope.
you had like your environment that you could traverse around. I remember a game called Hexen, which that game was cool. It was like I don't know how to describe it. It was a first-person shooter, but it was like weird magic instead of like guns and stuff like that.
I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. So I had a lot of fun playing that. And then, of course, like your Mario Kart. And I will never forget Conker's Bad Fur Day.
Jesus Christ.
And
That game was
it
so
is
rad.
We're all talking about Fun Unlimited. It's currently sitting down there for $100.
I bet.
Holy fuck, are you serious?
That is one of the rarest games for N64. And
I
still have
make very many.
I have another one of the rarest games in my possession right now. It's Paper Mario. I have that game still.
No shit.
Fuck yeah, dude.
And that game is like I searched on the internet for it out of curiosity, and someone has it on eBay for like $250.
That's crazy. You guys remember Hydro Thunder?
Yeah.
Dude, Hydro Thunder was dope. Like, that was the only time I ever cared about a boat racing game.
Hydro Thunder was fun. We mentioned Pilot Wings in the readings there. That was a great game. Wave Race, that was another fun
Wave
one.
Race, Road Rage 64.
Oh my god, that was the best. That was my favorite game.
Did y'all play the Doom port?
No, I didn't.
Apparently it was really bad.
The Resident Evil port.
Yeah.
That's where I played that game for the first time.
Resident Evil 2
Yeah.
as well, wasn't it?
No, it was just Resident Evil 2. I didn't say 2, but it was that
Oh,
one.
I thought that both of them were on.
No, I don't. Not that I remember. I remember it just being 2.
You're right. You're right.
And it was fun to play because you had the option to turn on like unlimited ammo and have the submachine gun if you had more.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
But yeah, that's where a lot of my like
Turok.
gaming. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Turok was
one
on
of them.
there.
Duke Nukem.
Dude, fucking Duke Nukem.
Duke
64.
Nukem Forever. That was the best. No,
So it was 64.
not Forever. 0 Hour. That's the one.
0 hour.
It was like a third-person shooter.
What?
Yeah.
There was a Duke Nukem third-person shooter?
Yeah, I'm gonna apparently blow your mind.
I
here
thought
in
it
a
was
second.
Duke Nukem 64.
There was that where it was kind of like Doom style graphics,
Yeah.
but this one was a third person shooter. Here's the cover for it.
Okay.
Wow. Yeah, color me surprised. That's fucking
And
weird.
I wonder if they have like screenshots. It's like $5 on eBay.
Shocker.
You don't say.
I mean, we got really cool port. I mean, not really cool, but like they're cool to like think that they came to the 64. Mega Man had a debut on there. Mega Man Legends. Also, there was this really weird Castlevania game.
Holy shit.
I'll be damned.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It was really fun too. Like, it was a really, really fun game.
There was no Metroid. There was no Metroid game on there. Pokemon Snap.
Oh, dude, Pokemon
Stadium.
Stadium was my
Stadium.
shit.
You know, I don't have the game, but I still have the expansion
cartridge?
for your Game Boy game.
Yeah.
That was
Fucking
huge.
rad, man. Fucking rad.
So, I guess the ones that I played most were Mario 64, like I was saying.
And you're still playing it today.
I do. I do still play it. And then Clay Fighter.
Clay Fighter.
Clay Fighter was the shit.
Yep.
And then the other one that I played, I had to look up because I could not remember the name of it. But it's called Mace the Dark Age. I loved the fuck out of that game, and I was looking up some of the characters on it, just for memory's sake, and I found this random page that just says some weird shit about the characters. Like, some of it's like most of it's normal, but then you'll come across one where it says, let's see, where did it go? There's a character called the Executioner.
Yeah.
And one of the little bullet points about him is ambiguously brown, for lack of a better term. And it literally says, for lack of a better term.
Jesus Christ.
And then, a bunch of other normal.
And then Tom Vanderhook.
And then,
was Tim.
let's see, where was the other one I saw? Oh, and by the way, there's this guy called Ragnar Bloodaxe in it.
Jesus Christ.
Fucking cool as shit.
That's
just
a
this,
subtle name.
right? Yeah, just this big old
Do you remember,
Viking
I
dude.
think it might have been part of the original name, or it might have been the sequel, but there was Clay Fighter 63 and a third.
Yeah.
Jesus
Because
Christ.
it wasn't quite 64. Like
Yeah.
Well, and I've always wondered if that's because that's the super, super rare one, right?
Yeah.
I've always wondered if that's the one that my brother owned or not. Because, wouldn't that be fucking crazy?
Yeah, that'd be rad.
This doesn't have anything to do with our topic tonight, but I don't know if I've mentioned it before, but I fucking have to. I was hanging out at my friend Lindsay's old house, and when she lived with her in the basement of her mom's house, and we were just kind of drinking in her bedroom, we were waiting for her boyfriend to come over because he was getting off work. And
okay.
she's like, we could set up the GameCube. I have all this stuff. I'm like, fuck yeah, let's set it up.
Nice.
So we're setting it up, and she's like, here's all the games, and I'm going through them. Fucking, she had Melee. Super Smash Brothers Melee.
Oh,
and
damn.
I just held it, and I was like, okay, alright, I'm just gonna set this down before I break it. And I was looking for, because she was
Can I
like,
borrow this?
she's like, there should be one of those wireless controllers that take the batteries in there. So I'm digging through it, and it had a big crack through it, but I pulled out the black bar version of Final Fantasy VII.
Wow.
The Black Label.
Yeah. And I just was like,
fuck.
she's like, what? And I'm like, I just act like I found the Ark of the Covenant. I was like, do you know what this is? I was like,
Don't stare at it too
I was
long.
in a panic, and I told her, I was like, look at how much people are selling this shit for. They had one at Fun Unlimited one time, and it was on sale for $80.
And it was the most fucked up case ever.
Yeah.
It was cracked in the front, cracked in the back. It was missing the instruction booklet. And it's yeah, okay.
Yeah, okay.
Are you?
I mean, those were real. Like I said,
Yeah.
I think I said earlier, those were the only games that we had for it, and
Yeah.
I could not have cared less. I got down as fuck on every one of those games.
I mean, there was a ton of fucking great games. Banjo-Kazooie started on here. That was another rare game. Star Fox 64, Perfect Dark, that awful fucking Diddy Kong Racing game. I'm sorry,
God.
fuck you, but it's an awful fucking game.
What?
Awful. Have you played it today? Have you played it today?
No.
Whack.
It's horrendous.
whack.
It might have been good then, but fuck almighty. I got it today and I was like, yes! I was so fucking excited. I thought it was going to be great. And then I was like, and I have Mario Kart too. I played Mario Kart before I played Diddy Kong Racing and I was like, ooh, this is a different fucking...
Dude,
Yeah.
Mario Kart's a fun game, but I just fucking hate how it looks on the N64. Like, I don't like the graphics.
You don't like the
all.
2D nature of it?
No, it looks like garbage to me. I mean, it's fun. It's got replayability, and I'll play the fuck out of it. But it just bugs me how it looks because, Diddy Kong Racing has the complete 3D visual characters, but this one they're just like, you turn it to the side, and it's just the same flat model. And then, I don't know.
F-Zero got a 64 game, which was really cool.
Yeah.
There was a lot of Kirby games on there, which were really good. We mentioned Glover at the beginning. Mario Tennis was fucking rad on the 64. And then we started getting
Glover, or as I like to call it, the Hamburger Helper game.
Hamburger Helper.
What?
That's hilarious because I
game?
thought the same
Glover.
thing. Mario Party I think it started on the.
It did. Yeah.
Did it start on there?
Yep.
Harvest Moon was a great fucking game. Turok. Goemon, which is one of those really cool games.
Bruh. That was a
great
fucking game.
Fucking Smash, bro. Smash started on the 64.
Yeah.
Do you remember where you were when you first played Smash?
Yeah, my friend Danny's house in his parents' basement.
That was at my cousin's house.
I've never played Smash.
I'm gonna have to ask you to leave.
We're going downstairs to play Smash right fucking now.
It's not like a game that calls to me, so I've just never played it.
You should just try it. Just give it a shot. You should you actually really should though, because it's a fucking amazing game and it's super fun and it's inviting to new players and super. I mean, do I have to keep going on? It's fucking.
Well, I mean, it depends on how many more times you're going to say super.
It's super great.
Super fun.
Super great.
Super! Thanks for asking.
Super. Thanks for asking.
Because I'm failing, so it's only super.
In my 25 years of life, I've used super a lot. And I've never once been called gay for using it.
Well, oh, no, I'm not.
Until now.
No.
So, fuck you, Derek.
It's Big Gay Al
Fuck
from
you.
South Park.
Fuck your Toyota.
You should know of everyone.
Fuck you.
Yeah, it's Big Gay Al.
I love Big Gay Al.
He's the best.
Well, with that, we'll conclude this podcast.
Big Gay Al reminds me of the 64 because...
Who went in there?
Who went in there?
I'm sorry, funny little side from there. The first South Park game came to 64 too.
Oh,
that's
yeah.
right, dude.
Yeah.
That's right.
Fucking awful.
And you could
It
piss.
was.
You could piss in a snowball.
You
in front of
could.
people.
Yeah.
Yep.
I was
There was also
surprised they let it.
didn't they
Nintendo
also
took that.
didn't they also have a kart racing game?
Yeah, they did.
South Park
they had-
Rally or some shit like that.
South Park Rally, and then they had Chef's Love Shack, which was just like a game show.
Oh, shit.
They were all gold. They were so good.
All right.
Well, with that, that concludes our N64 episode. Go play some N64 games.
If you have one.
I mean, eventually we're going to get the N64 Classic, which is
Yeah.
probably going to be your best way to play those games.
Yep. So, as always, you can follow us on social media.
On Facebook at the Nerd Corporation, a podcast.
On Twitter and Instagram at Nerdcore Podcast.
Or you can shoot us an email at nerdcourtpodcast@gmail.com or find us all on our own social medias.
On the internet.
On the internet.
On the intergrams.
Yes.
Also, you can follow us on your favorite gaming consoles at Nerdcore Podcast.
What's up, everybody? Oh, wait, that's at the beginning.
Yeah, that's at the beginning.
My bad.
And if you want to drive down nostalgia lane with us again, subscribe to our Patreon. Patreon.com/Nerdcore Podcast. Several tiers of loot to have access to, from stickers and shirts to bonus episodes and extra content. So for the Nerd Corporation, my name is Eddie Lyon.
I'm Cole Simper.
I'm Derek Reese.
I'm Nick Lewis.
I was just expecting it to go around.
I don't know why I thought differently. No, I just, as you were saying that...